Have you ever thought about what and how we will be eating in 10 to 20 years? Food that was printed on a 3D printer, robots making and cooking food, food through steam or a Band-Aid, cellular agriculture, blockchain and artificial intelligence. All of this food tech of the future in today's One Issue. One of the most promising technologies in food is 3D printing. The technology allows you to create food from a wide variety of components. It mixes them in the most bizarre ways and creates shapes and textures of your choice. 3D printing will allow you to customize the final meal according to your needs and taste. It reduces waste, it allows you to eat more properly, and it may completely overturn the way we think about taste. Once the technology is perfected, it's going to provide unlimited possibilities for creating new foods by changing the ratio of ingredients and their final physical form on the plate. 3D printing is planned to replace food from tubes for astronauts. The startup Redefine Meat already uses the technology to make artificial meat look, smell, and have the structure and juiciness of a real piece of beef. In doing so, 3D printing can reproduce more than 70 different sensory factors of meat using vegan components that mimic muscle, fat, and blood. Robotic chefs can also change the familiar taste of food when they learn not to just act according to a template, but also create new dishes. For now, the existing systems, whether it's a robot for making pizza or a sophisticated robot kitchen mole, whose robotic arms can carefully repeat the movements of chef's hands, act according to a preset pattern. Mole is trained on the movements of famous chefs whose recipes are stored in the robotic kitchen's memory. But the robot can also be customized if you give it a set of ingredients and a sequence of movements, such as adding, stirring, or flipping. In the future, such robots in restaurants and at your home will be able to cook dishes you want, which you simply order in an app while you're going to and from work. When artificial intelligence is added to the machines, they will be able to offer you new and tasty healthy dishes themselves. It's possible that they will be prepared from ingredients grown from stem cells, collected from donors, and cultured in a laboratory. This is how meat is already produced in vitro, and fish will be produced in the future. Companies such as Just are already experimenting with chicken nuggets, sausages, and even foie gras. But for now, this way of obtaining products is very expensive. But vertical farming has every chance of becoming mainstream in the near future. There's already vertical farms and gardens in South Korea, Sweden, Singapore, and now the USA. There's over 50 of them in Japan, and Russia has its own startup, iFarm. iFarm's vertical farms are controlled automatically with the help of the iFarm GrowTune electric platform. It optimizes the operation of the farm so that the crops are good, mature, within predictable timeframes and with minimal cost. The software communicates with all sensors and manages temperature, humidity, CO2, solution composition, and irrigation schedules, as well as scheduling the switching on and off of LED lights that replace the sun. Blockchain technology will be able to guarantee the food security of the future. In the near future, it will revolutionize the supply of agri-food products by making every transaction in the supply chain transparent. It will help detect and trace, for example, the source of contamination or contamination of finished products almost instantly. It will also make it possible to control the shelf life of all products and support the development of alternative distribution channels. Food giants such as Walmart, Nestle, and many others are already working with IBM to apply blockchain to their supply chains. The next technological trend of the food future is personalized food. The concepts vary for now, from adapting your diet to your condition, reading by special wearable gadgets, to tailoring menus to your DNA. The latest idea, nutrigenomics, is based on tracking the connection between a person's DNA and their ability to digest certain foods. It's still in its infancy, but some companies such as DNA Fit, Nutrigenomics, and Habit are already offering similar services. Another unusual trend is cell farming. This process takes two forms: cell-free products made up of organic molecules such as protein and fat, but without living cells, and products made up of living cells. Should be the variants we are familiar with, but they will be made quite differently. For example, by incorporating appropriate genes into yeast cells, they can be programmed to mass-produce conventional animal products, such as milk. For example, Nature's Find founder Thomas Johnson and his team discovered a fungal microbe in the hot geysers of Yellowstone National Park that survived in subterranean temperatures of 12 degrees Celsius. Now such microbes are being fermented in the company's laboratories in Chicago, where food scientists manipulate them to imitate chicken and other foods. The company recently received $80 million in funding from investors such as Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, and Michael Bloomberg. Interestingly enough, the project to find organisms is capable of adapting to extreme environmental conditions in Yellowstone volcanic springs and was originally funded by NASA. And the Finnish startup Solar Foods is extracting protein from the air. The food of the future, which is an alternative to plant-based meat, the developers extract it from air and electricity obtained from renewable energy sources. This results in the ability to significantly reduce the environmental impact of the food production processes themselves. The company claims that its unique single-cell protein soline, derived through a special bioprocess from electricity and air, is as environmentally friendly as possible. Its all-natural fermentation process is similar to yeast production. The protein is neutral in taste and appearance, yet rich in nutritional value. The product is due on the market later this year. Among other technologies of the future that will change our food, artificial intelligence is also worth mentioning. Now, it's mainly used for data analysis and predicting the consequences of various factors that affect the efficiency of agriculture. But neural networks can do more, from precise sorting of products to modeling the design of functional nutrients like proteins, sugar substitutes, and others in these alternative products. But even if in the future we are doomed to a standard package of vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates of unknown origin, this doesn't mean that we cannot choose to invent ways to enjoy food. Already today, there are concept and working technologies that enable different ways to deliver food to the body. The clearest example so far is vaporization, that is, turning it into steam. Eating through a nebulizer that creates edible smoke is already possible today. A working device called LaWAF was created by Harvard professor David Edwards. Options are also being developed for those in a hurry: a nutritious transdermal patch, healthy gum with different flavors, and even a project to implant a reservoir directly into the body that injects protein carbohydrate shakes into the body as needed. Some scientists believe that in the future we'll be able to compensate for some of our nutrition with sunlight. This would involve implanting microscopic photosynthetic algae under the skin. Ideally, the tiny symbiotes will create enough food to feed everyone, and the warm-bloodedness of humans will allow them to do it even so in the winter. So far, this is a science fiction project, and there's definitely not enough body surfaces to completely switch to solar batteries. But who knows, perhaps in the future, living on other planets, the ability to be powered by sunlight will help us survive. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and also subscribe to us on social networks and stay up to date on the future of all tech.